Hello and welcome.
Thank you very much.
Would you please introduce yourself and tell us about the country where you're from?
Yes, my name is Zaid Hamid. I'm a security and defense analyst based in Pakistan. Pakistan right now is the epicenter of global controversies, if I may say. The Americans are using a massive psychological and disinformation war against Pakistan to prove that Pakistan is part of the global war on terror, and Pakistan is the epicenter of terror. So my work in Pakistan is primarily defense and security consultation. It's a very critical work that we do there. We advise government of Pakistan, Pakistani armed forces, and also the corporate companies which work in Pakistan, and to protect their business interests. So I have my own security think tank by the name of Brasstacks, and you can visit that at brasstacks.pk. And also I have another website which is in my own name, zaidhamid.pk. You can search my name on the Google and you'll find almost millions of pages which have some form of references about us. We are established for the last 10 years. We are recognized and known world over. And one of the Jordanian think tanks consider us as the most influential media anchor in Pakistan. We run our own television programs as well. And our CDs and DVDs, our books, our monthly magazine that we publish. So there's extensive work, academic, that we do for the security of Pakistan and for the Muslim world in the region.
Great, so much work you do. Okay, Mr. Hamid, you know, some authorities believe that these days the term peace has turned to a slogan which is under the control of superpowers, and they're misusing this term in order to reach and gain the goals they have. Do you have any opinion about this?
You see, we are not surprised because this is the age of disinformation and propaganda warfare. Nowadays, media and information warfare weapon systems, which we call the weapons of mass deception, they play a much bigger role than the physical armed forces against any nation or against any civilization.
Than real weapons, yes.
The real weapons.
Yeah.
So, in the modern world, the so-called war on terror, if I tell you what actually war on terror stands for, it's the name of war on terror, which we all are discussing terrorism, but nobody has yet defined what terror is. And the American war on terror actually has 6 grand strategic objectives underneath this. They are waging a war in the Middle East. They are reshaping Middle East. They are changing the geography of the Muslim world. They are waging war one after another on every Muslim land. They are breaking down large Muslim countries into smaller nations, like Sudan has been broken down, Libya has been broken down, Iraq has been decapitated, Afghanistan has been dismantled. Now thereafter Iran and Pakistan as well. Syria has been attacked. So, and everything is being done under the generic name of war on terror. So what is actually the American objective? American objective is defense and security of Israel and the denuclearization of the Muslim world, then the control of fuel assets, then the destruction of political Islam, then containment of Russia and containment of China. So all these grand strategic objectives come under the generic word of war on terror. So similarly, it's the Americans who use the word peace, and for them, peace means when they destroy a land, when they burn its crops, when they kill its people, when they force the people out of their lands, and when there's total silence of death, they call it peace.
Okay, so in one of your statements you mentioned that the United States and some countries are trying to deceive people using the media. And there's a new term, a new, let's say, phenomenon, which is called media terrorism. Is this exactly the same thing that you mentioned?
See, this is precisely the point, because economy is a term that we all understand. But when we talk of economic terrorism, it means by using the paper currency, false banking system, IMF, World Bank, using these systems, you destroy the economy of the countries you hate or you want to wage a war upon. That's economic terrorism. Similarly, the wars that you wage using media, where you spread disinformation, where you spread lies, where you spread confusions, where you sow sectarian, religious, ethnic discords and violence, and where you portray entire civilization as terrorism, as terrorists. For example, against Iraq, there were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, but they lied in the United Nations. They lied in front of the world, proving that the Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. Complete lies, fabricated. And then they destroyed a Muslim nation completely. That is media terrorism. In the modern world, this is called PSYOPs in the military language, psychological operations. This is called programming the national psyche, your own nation psyche, to make them, to force them, to convince them that they should go to war on another nation, and also disinformation war against the target country to soften it up so that when the country is totally isolated internationally, politically, diplomatically, then you launch your forces who go in and capture that land. We have seen this many times. We are seeing this happening all around us. Understand this very clearly. They are reshaping the Middle East. The Muslim world maps, the maps of the Muslim world were changed after the First World War. All these maps that you see, they were drawn after the First World War. Now after 100 years, they are changing the maps again. They want to break down Muslim land into smaller nations. And the most fierce, most ruthless weapon of terror they use for this is media. Disinformation, lies, propaganda and deceptions. Quran defines this. يُرِيدُونَ لِيُطْفِئُوا نُورَ اللَّهِ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ. They want to extinguish the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala using their afwah. And afwah is propaganda, disinformation, lies. And Quran actually talks about the information war and disinformation war that these people are waging today. And the result of this is that people get confused, disoriented, sectarian, religious, ethnic discords are put into place. And this kind of war, the terminology for this entire war which they wage against a country is called the fourth generation war, in which you don't have to send forces. You soften that country through economics, through insurgency, through media terrorism, and when the country becomes soft, only then you move in your forces and dismember the land.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Hamid, for your great and splendid ideas. Thank you.
Thank you very much.